What we're making is...
rice and raisin wine.
That's right, it is. Well, hello and how are you today? I have such a simple wine recipe for you. It is one of the first ones I ever made as an adult when I was a student. I've been making wines for years and years and years as a kid, but then this is the first wine I made as a student. Really, really great wine. It's cheap, it's easy to make. It's so cheap, it's about 42 pence a bottle, which is amazing, isn't it? That's really, really cheap.
Isn't he big?
He is. Anyway, rice and raisin. It is so simple. What you need for rice and raisin wine is rice and raisins. I'll give the recipe down below in the link for the 1 gallon batch and also the 5 gallon batch. So you can choose if you want to make a 1 gallon trial batch or go with a full hog to make 5 gallons. So the raisins. For 5 gallons I'm using 2 kilos of raisins and also 2 kilos of rice. 2 and 2. Just your bog standard, long grain, easy cut, simple, basic rice will do. You could try basmati, you could try all sorts of other types of rice, but to be honest, they don't make a great deal of difference. Apart from brown rice. Why can't I say brown rice?
Brown rice, silly.
Yes, thank you. Brown rice. Brown rice. That adds a lot of earthy mouthiness to it. Not earthy as in dirt, but more mushroomy, fuller, better flavoured. First thing we need to do is grab your fermenting bucket, enough to hold 5 gallons worth. Shall we do that? Come on then. And now you want to pour in your ingredients. I'm using 2 kilos of raisins, 2 kilos of rice and 5 kilos of granulated sugar. Throw it all in. I'm sure you can do this by the time you're 2. Full and 5 kilo bag, nice easy. Sugar. And then simply pour it in. Oh wow! And add your rice. In goes the rice, little boy. And the 2nd kilo, straight in. Watching. Oh wow! What are we making? And then 2 kilos of raisins. You're watching, pour them in. Wow! My personal touch to this recipe is to add 2 grapefruit to it. Well, the juice of. So you want to cut your 2 grapefruits, squeeze the juice in. This gives a really, really, really acidic, citrusy, awesome flavour. Do you think? They're going to be tasty? Take your gun with me. Take, hold. So just squeeze the juice in. Any which way you like. Squeeze. Grapefruit. Did you drop that one in whole? And also throw the whole skin in as well once you've juiced. They all add flavour. As I say, this recipe is so simple. A baby can help do it. Squeeze that juice in. Wow, and try. It's a grapefruit. Just throw it in. Simple. And now I'm adding 2 tea bags to help the tannins. I always like adding tea bags to my wine or a cup of tea. It really helps the flavour and the tannins bring the wine to life, which is fantastic. So all you need to do now is put the kettle up, fill this up until the sugar dissolves, then top it up to the 5 gallon mark. How simple is that? So kettle on, and just pour in your boiling water, and give it a good stir. Get all that rice and all those raisins and all that sugar stirred in, mixed in. I really love children learning to cook and appreciate food from an early age. He's 6 months old, he loves his fruit, his vegetables, his meats. He's so hands-on with not only eating, but the whole cooking process. He's always in the kitchen with us, watching, learning, absorbing what we're doing, which is fantastic. Wow, tasty. Something else I like to add to my rice and raisin wine is ginger. A really decent, really good shake of ginger. Just actually the whole pot worth. It adds a lot of fire and bite to it and loveliness. Smell the ginger. Smell the ginger. More water. And my helper is doing a great job of stirring and dissolving the sugar. Good boy. That's right, stir. Stirring. Ah, stir that rice and raisins.
How do you stir it? Stir it.
Fantastic. Get it all stirred in. Then once it's all dissolved, top it up to the 5 gallon mark with cold water. And then we'll add the yeast, won't we? Oh yes. Right then, mister. I've topped it right the way up to just below the 5 gallon mark because I want to need some headspace for when it goes all vigorous and fermenting. That's right, Charlie. Yeah, so when it ferments, there's going to be a bit of, well, a lot of vigorous action, which is what we like. All we need to do now is add some yeast, nutrient, and some yeast. Just my generic, bog standard wine yeast. I was thinking about using a high alcohol dessert wine yeast, but alas, I've run out. So we want to set this aside and stir every day for a week. Oh yeah, and then I'll be back and I'll show you what to do next with it. Fantastic. See you soon. Well, hello, how are you doing? A full week has passed since my rice and raisin wine has been stirred, and I've been stirring it every day.
Every day?
That's right, I've been stirring it every day.
Really?
Yes, every day. I missed one day. He knows everything. Anyway, it's looking fantastic. The rice has sunk to the bottom and the raisins have all floated to the top. So now it's time to extract all the liquid we want from the buckets.
How will you do that?
Well, easy. I'm going to siphon it off. I'm going to shove my siphon tube between the 2 layers and siphon it off.
You just want to suck it.
Yes. Siphon is another word for suck it. Anyway, right then. Let's get on with it. Let's separate the liquid from the rice and raisin.
Suck her.
On with it. It's amazing how 5 gallons of liquid and the rice and the raisins weigh a fair amount. So anyway, I have a clean fermentation bucket which I'm going to plop down and my siphon tube in. So I'm just going to shove it in, siphon off the liquid between the rice and the raisins, and hey ho, let's go. Oh, this is looking fantastic. It's smelling brilliant. I've just had a glass to test. Well, I wanted to test the specific gravity. Still a way off until it's dry, but it's tasting awesome. So come on, have a look at this. Then just shove in your siphon tube in between the 2 layers. Awesome stuff. Try not to get any raisins stuck into the tube and give it a good suck.
You're a sucker.
Cheeky. And just stand and wait until it's all siphoned. I find this method is easier than trying to strain it by hand, put it through a sieve and a colander and a mesh cloth. It's easier to just suck it all out, really. Yeah, just siphon it. Might be here sometime waiting for this to siphon through. Go on, go for a cuppa. I'll stand here, wait for you. Go on, go for a cup of tea. Or a gin.
Why not put it into demijohns?
Well, I don't have any demijohns that are empty. So I'm putting it into a 5 gallon bucket now. And then when I do have demijohns free, I will transplant it from the bucket into demijohns.
You mean drink it?
Yes, I do mean when I drink the wine. He's a cheeky one, he is. Anyway, right then. Is it siphoned yet? Hope so. Still siphoning. How's your cuppa going? So what I'm going to do next now is fill my bucket, my 5-gallon bucket, up with this liquid. Top it up so there's no real headspace, because now the initial fermentation has gone wild. It was a cracking ferment it was all bubbly and massive bubbles everywhere. Anyway, once that's done, I'm going to let it stand in this bucket till it ferments out to dry, and then put it into demijohns to mature for a bit. Oh, it's going to be a cracking wine, this. I think another week in the 5-gallon bucket, that can be time to free up some demijohns, do some bottling, then I will put it in. Phew, done. It's all siphoned off. I have a load of rice and a load of raisins left now, which will go out to the compost heap. Anyway, the liquid is in the other bucket. Just a few raisins floating around there which got sucked up, so I'm going to leave those in. A few don't really matter at this stage. Now, I'm going to fill this up to pretty much full, so there's no headspace, so it won't start to oxidise, which is one of the things that can go wrong with your wine. Too much headspace means oxygen can get to your wine and start to give it a bit of a sherry type of flavour. I do like a nice drop of sherry, I do. So I will be making some sherry style wines in maybe next month. A nettle style sherry would be fantastic. Give me an idea of that. Oh yes. Attach a lid with an airlock in. Oh, a round lid. That's the right lid. And set it aside in a warm place for about another week. Then I will put it into demijohns. If you're making a single batch, a single 1-gallon run of this wine, put it into the demijohn now. You don't want that big airspace above. I'm only doing this because my demijohns are all full of wine. The hardships, the horrors. So that wine is done, pretty much. I'll do a taste test and a review of it when it's finished off and properly done.
So subscribe. We'll see you soon.
Yes, we will see you soon. Have a great day now. See you soon.